everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess and I am so excited to be finally bringing this video to you. I've had it actually requested over the last couple years that I've been on YouTube, and that is, how do you get back on track after you have kind of, stopped tracking and maybe not eating as clean as you want to. And it could be anything. It could be like, say, just around the holidays or around the summertime, or you're on vacation. I mean, it could be as little as a couple weeks to many months that I feel like these tips can really pertain to you. And I call it hitting the reset button. So I have been on this healthy lifestyle journey really consistently for the last 2 years. I kind of teeter-tottered with it since about 2013. Those were mostly like crash diets, all those fad diets out there. I mean, I did so many different ones, and then, I'd settled into a lifestyle. I did Atkins for a while, and then that just did not work out for me. I knew I couldn't sustain it. And then I just decided to try healthy eating, which was good, but I needed some stability, and that's when I came to Weight Watchers. So there's been many times over the years since that time, since 2013, that I've hit the reset button. But I really did not get a good rhythm to it, or a good set of kind of rules that I've given myself, or even like strategy, until the last couple years. And when I've hit like plateaus and it's got me off track, or just the summertime, sometimes it's hard for me because I'm home more, or around the holidays because I'm at home. See, for me, it's when I'm at home is when it's the hardest. So the weekends, the holidays, I mean, it's just, for me, there's different things that trigger this, where I just stop tracking, or I just have a terrible mindset. And I have found, though, these strategies that I'm going to share with you have really helped me hit the reset button. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video is because I am getting ready to hit the reset button. Actually, I've started this weekend, and let me tell you the reason why this time I've hit it, to give you an example of how it's not necessarily because you got off track and you just decided to eat whatever you wanted to eat, whatever the cravings were, because I've been there. This time was a different situation, so I just wanted to be able to give you guys some situations beyond the obvious of being off track. So towards the end of last month, February, I got the flu. Well, my son got the flu first, then I got the flu, then my husband got the flu, then my husband got pneumonia from the flu. I picked up a couple secondary infections from the flu as well. I ended up with a really bad sinus infection, then I got a bad UTI, and it was literally a month, an entire month of me being sick. And it wasn't until literally, you guys, it was Saturday when I woke up and I felt almost 100%. I mean, it's not 100% as you can feel early in the morning on a Saturday, but I felt good. Today, when I woke up, I felt good. Yesterday, I felt good. So I know my body now is on the right track to being healthy again. During that time period, I felt terrible. I wasn't, it was like, for one thing, when I had the flu, of course, I was not staying, counting points or anything. I actually did not eat that much, and I actually lost a ton of weight. I think I lost like 6 pounds in that time that I had that. And then when I thought, okay, I'm better, I'm over it, then I started eating again, and then my husband's flu turned into pneumonia. There's a ton of stress. He was off work for 2 weeks, so that caused a lot of financial stress. Then he doesn't handle these things very well, so there's a lot of stress with that. It was just so much, you guys. And you guys know, if you've watched any of my videos the last couple weeks, you know how it affected me, and that's what threw me off track. I mean, I just kind of I would do really good. I would show you guys on the weekdays when I show you guys my food, I would do really good. As soon as I was done filming for the day and uploaded my video, the end of the night, it was terrible. Weekends were terrible. I just could not stay on track. It was just, the stress was getting to me. Plus, I felt terrible, so I just wanted to comfort myself. My body was just in pain. I was not feeling well. It was depressing me really bad, not feeling well. So that is what brought me to where I am today. Now I've decided it's time to hit the reset button. I want my healthy lifestyle back, and this is how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to give you, I have 7 tips for you on things that I do that you can hopefully fit into your lifestyle. So number 1, I think that I made this number 1 for a reason. The very most important thing, I think, before you hit the reset button, or just whatever you call it, get back on track, is a positive mindset. You must be in the right frame of mind to do a healthy reset. You have to forget whatever happened before this. Forgive yourself, forget it, and move on. So if it was a situation where you just let yourself get out of control, it's over now. It is over. You have made this commitment to go forward. If you don't forgive yourself, if you don't forget it and you don't move on, it's not going to work. You can't do this. It's very unlikely. It's very likely you will not be successful in this reset if you do not have the right frame of mind. So basically, like I said, just forgive, forget, and move on, and then you are ready to go. Number 2, my water. That is probably the first thing that goes, is water intake. When I am not feeling, and when I'm not on track, when I'm not really living my healthy lifestyle I want to live, is water intake. So first thing I always do is increase my water intake. When I hit the reset button, I try to plan out my water for the first couple weeks. Normally I believe in the drink to thirst. So I don't like to say I'm going to drink this many ounces of water a day. But when I hit the reset button, I really need to plan out my water. So these are kind of some tactics I use. I have a 32-ounce water jar that I have one of these at work and I have one at home. And I try to say I'm going to drink one of these before I can have my first cup of coffee in the morning, because you guys know how important coffee is to me. So I have one of those first thing in the morning. As soon as I get out of bed, even before I take a shower, I go in and get my water ready. And I try to drink that before I have my first cup of coffee. Then I try to take a bottle of water that I can drink, because this doesn't fit in my cup holder in my car. So I have like a bottle of water that I take with me on my way to work, and I drink on that till I get to work, and then I fill up my water again. As soon as I get to work, I fill up the 32-ouncer, and then my goal is to drink another one of those before lunchtime, which I take lunch at noon. I go to work at 7:30 in the morning, I take a lunch at noon. So I have another 32 ounces done by the time I have lunch. And then after lunch, I fill it up again, and then I just try to drink as much as I can before the end of the day. And then whatever water I drink after I get home is kind of bonus water. So that is my kind of goal for water. Now, when I am doing this reset, normally I need kind of like to detox myself, because normally I've been eating things that may not be very healthy, and I'm just bloated and yucky, and that's how I've been the last couple weeks. Is I've been feeling very bloated and very just not feeling very hydrated and very good. So what I do then is, you see this water has a bunch of lemons and it has some ginger down there. So I have a lemon ginger water, and what I usually do when I'm home, like this week I'm home all week, so I will do that first thing in the morning, the lemon ginger water, and then I just keep refilling that same one with the same lemon and ginger, and I drink that all day. And try to drink 3 of those in the day. So I only do that for like the first week or 2 with the lemon ginger water. I started to get tired of it after a while. Or after the first couple weeks, I'll just have the first one in the morning, and then I don't have to worry about it. Because when I go back to work, I'm going to have to cut up some pieces of ginger and some lemon and transport them to work, which isn't a big deal. But I do like to do it for at least 2 weeks, get that good detox all day. And then after that, I just do it for the first morning water. But ginger is an anti-inflammatory, and it's known for its abilities to assist the digestive system, help detoxify the body, and it fights fluid retention. So that's why I really like to incorporate the ginger. It's just I'm not a huge fan of ginger. So, but it also is supposed to activate your metabolism. So that's another good reason to have it first thing in the morning. So increase your water intake is tip number 2. Tip number 3 is exercise. Exercise is hard for me to begin with. But normally when I'm really on a roll, I can at least do walking, and I'll walk on my breaks at work. I'll walk half an hour at my hour lunch, or I'll do my walking videos when I'm really feeling like I am really in the zone of a healthy lifestyle. But when I'm off, and I don't exercise. So normally my exercise plan, as you guys know, is I just plan it around my schedule. My husband works a very erratic schedule. Never know what time he's going to leave out in the morning. If he leaves out and really early, then I can do my exercise in the morning. If he leaves out around the same time that I do, then I can't, because the only place I have to do it is out in the living room, and he's out there and the kids are out there. So it's really not that, or in here in the bedroom, and he could be sleeping. So it's like, or he's going back and forth in the bathroom. So really there's just nowhere I can go to do it if he is home. or if it's like we're trying to both get ready for work at the same time. So normally I try to plan it around my schedule, but when I'm trying to do a reset, I know I need to plan it around the time that I have the most trouble staying on track. So what I mean by that is, well, because of that, because when I exercise, it tends to make me make healthy choices. I feel healthier when I exercise. I don't know if you guys know, I'm sure you guys maybe can relate to that. I feel healthier, so I feel like I make healthier food choices because I have made that choice to exercise, and it just makes me want to eat good healthy food. I don't know. So it kind of tricks your mind. So because of that though, I look at when is the hardest time for me to stay on track. When I'm at home, so like on the weekends, or like this week I'm on spring break, it's going to be hard for me to stay on track because I am at home. I can eat whatever I want because I'm not limited to just what I brought with me to work. So I know the best time for me to exercise this week is going to be in the morning, and that will help me make healthier choices throughout the day. During work days, honestly, it's not hard for me to stay on track at work because I just take all my food with me. I take a ton of snacks with me just, you know, to have just in case. The hardest time for me is after we eat dinner and we sit down and I've, you know, editing my video and uploading. For some reason, when I'm editing and uploading videos, it just makes me want to snack. At the end of the night when I'm all done and I am getting, you know, just kind of winding down and I'm reading or watching a show on Netflix or something, it totally makes me want to snack. So it's like, that is the hardest time for me. I'm not like that on the weekends. It's so weird. It's only the weekdays. So on those days, it's best for me to work out after dinner. And if I work out after dinner, hardly ever do I ever like have any, sorry, my cat is like distracting me. I hardly ever have any like late night cravings. So just, you know, plan your exercise however you can plan it, if it has to be around your schedule, or maybe just try that tactic. Try exercising, like if you do have late night snacks, so even if you exercise in the morning, maybe do like a quick 10-15 minute workout in the evening before you normally have your cravings and see if that works out for you. Number 4 is cleaner eating. So I try to eat during this time of my reset, and actually anytime, I always try to eat whole foods and foods that are minimally processed as possible. That's not always possible. I do eat processed food. I do, you know, sometimes it's just the easiest, quickest thing because I do work so much and I'm out of the home like 50 hours a week and during the weekdays normally. So sometimes it just happens. I'm not going to say I'm never ever going to have processed food. But when I'm doing a reset, I really, really try to stick to the whole foods and try not to have as many processed foods, not as many artificial sweeteners, no added sugars. So examples like I try to have a lot of fresh fruit around. If I need to have any canned fruit, I make sure it's like no sugar added. A lot of fresh veggies. When I buy canned veggies, I almost always buy no salt added canned veggies. I try to make sure I have oats around, brown rice. Quinoa is like one of my favorite things, so I always make sure I try to make a batch of that. And I always try to keep plain yogurt in my refrigerator. I've always been a fan, even before Weight Watchers made plain non-fat Greek yogurt and plain yogurt, 0 smart points. I've always been a fan of that because I don't mind adding fruit to it and that kind of thing. And honey is very good sweetener for you because honey has a lot of health properties to it. So I just try to stick to things like that. So just try to eat cleaner, and it just makes you feel good, and it kind of detoxes your body, and just, I don't know, it just makes me feel like I am doing what I want to do. And it kind of gets you, and if you do that for a couple weeks where you try to keep all artificial sweeteners, as much processed food out of your life as possible, it really helps you kick that resetting gear. Number 5 is meal planning and meal prepping. Now you guys know that I always do a meal prep or meal plan of some sort, but I notice when I get off track, I tend to not always stick to my plan. I will pick up something to eat instead, or I just go off of my plan. The meal prepping, like the last couple weeks, my meal prepping, if you notice, I've just done some lunch bowls. I have not done any of my basic stuff that I almost always do, and that really contributed to me not staying on track. So this week on Sunday, so yesterday's video, meal prep, I will have it linked down below. I did kind of what I call just the basics meal prep. Those are the kind of things that I like to do when I'm having a reset, because those are the kind of foods that I like to have in my refrigerator, so I have a base for everything. So I always make sure I have like some kind of salad, you know, whether it's a salad mix you buy, or it's like I cut up a bunch of lettuce and cabbage and things like that. And I made myself kind of a salad I can eat on all week. I made sure I had a lot of vegetables cut up I could have with hummus or just to throw into a quick meal. But I just call it just the basics. That's kind of meal prep I highly recommend when you are trying to hit the reset button. So check out that video. A meal plan is also really important and stick to it. So I always try to make sure I stick to my meal plan. I normally don't plan out breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Well, I have ideas for breakfast and lunch, but I don't plan out what I'm going to have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Dinners I always do because it's easiest because I work outside the home, but breakfast and lunches Monday through Friday I don't ever like plan what I'm going to have each day until I'm on a reset. Then I sit down and I plan out what I'm going to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day of the week, and I do that for about 2 weeks. Number 6, sleep. So I am really bad about making bedtime a priority or going to bed early a priority. I used to read a lot at bedtime, and I was doing that from the beginning of the year, and it just got off track. I think it's because it was really hard for me to read when I was so sick, and I just couldn't focus on a book, so I really got into watching Netflix, and I just was binge watching shows on Netflix, and now it's just turned into a habit instead of reading. So I started reading again. I've been reading all weekend, and I finished a book this morning, so I like to incorporate reading because that is something that it kind of slows down my night. So I turn off, and I do read on my iPad, but I turn off everything else. I don't watch any shows because reading doesn't stimulate my brain the same way that watching a show does. I feel like I can't turn that off. So I try to stop doing any kind of watching YouTube videos or watching any TV shows by like 7:30, 8 o'clock. And then I just read until it's time for bed. But I do try to make going to bed earlier a priority when I'm doing this. Try to get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep because typically I'm getting 5 to 6 hours of sleep a night, and I know I do best when I'm getting like 7 to 8 hours of sleep. So sleep is a huge thing. And the last tip number 7, is de-stress. This is absolutely probably one of the hardest things for me to do. I always feel stressed about something, whether it's work or just finances or, just something. The kids, I don't know. But I do have a few little tricks that I've used over the years. One of them I already mentioned, and that is reading. I really notice that when I read a lot, I tend to be less stressed about anything. It's just relaxing and calming to me. Even if I read the psychological thrillers I like to read, but it's a different, I don't know if it's a different part of your brain that you use, but it makes my brain feel like it less activity than if you were like watching a TV show. I don't know, it's just calming to me. Another distress for me is to listen to music. I used to do that also when I was at work, because if I was really stressed out at work, I just turn on music in the background. We're not allowed to wear headphones when we're at a desk because people are coming up constantly, but we can have the music on quietly because we're in an area where it's kind of backing away from everybody. So I do have music going, and that tends to kind of de-stress me a little bit, but I've stopped doing that. So I need to get back into that when I go back to work. But when I'm cleaning or getting ready in the morning, I used to always have music on, and I haven't done that. So that is something I tried to do, is try to add music, and that seems to really de-stress me. Also, another thing is like puzzles. I love to do puzzles, and I have 2 of them that I have not even started. So during spring break, I plan on setting up my little card table and then doing a couple puzzles. I don't know, something about puzzles, whether it's like the jigsaw puzzles, but I also like to do like crossword puzzles and things like that, and like word games. I don't know, those kind of things really de-stress me. And then the final thing that really de-stresses me is cooking. Being creative in the kitchen, coming up with recipes, coming up with new ideas, and I love to film those for you guys. So this week I do have a couple things that I've come up with, and that's just another thing that does it for me. So let me know down below what your things that you do that you do for stress. I've never been like a fan of the bubble bath. I don't know. I've never been a fan of like baths in general. I like showers, always been a shower girl. So those kind of things I don't, but a cup of tea and a book, that will give me, a lot of quiet, calming time in the evening or afternoon, whatever I need it. So anyway, those are my 7 tips for hitting the reset button. Let me know down below if you have any other tips that we can all talk about in the comments. And I hope this helps you guys all out, and I will talk to you all in the next video. Bye guys.